Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever dreamt of studying, doing research, or even just learning German over in Germany, well, you've probably realized by now that finding the funding is half the battle, right? Today we are going to completely demystify that process. We're going straight to the source, looking at the frameworks provided by the absolute largest funding organization of its kind in the world. Let's build a really clear step-by-step understanding of what's out there and, more importantly, how you can actually get it.
Our roadmap for today is pretty straightforward. We'll cover Section 1, Welcome to the DAAD. Section 2, Who is the target audience? Section 3, Specialized scholarship programs. Section 4, The application process. And finally, Section 5, Understanding your benefits.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1. Welcome to the DAAD, the world's largest funding organization.
So, DAAD. It stands for Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst, which translates nicely to the German Academic Exchange Service. Now, their core mission is providing grants for study and research visits. Specifically, they fund opportunities at universities and non-university research institutions right there in Germany. Actually, scratch that. They aren't just a funder. They are literally the gateway for international academic mobility into the country.
And to put their immense scale into perspective, just look at this number. 100,000. Every single year, the DAAD supports well over 100,000 German and international students and researchers across the globe. We aren't talking about some tiny, highly restrictive niche endowment here. This is a massive, global footprint of opportunity for academics everywhere.
Moving right along to Section 2, Who is the target audience? Let's find your academic fit.
The absolute crucial takeaway here is that DAAD funding is primarily aimed at 3 advanced academic levels. We're talking graduates, doctoral students, and postdocs. Now, sure, some programs do fund internships, but the vast majority of their support goes to folks who have already knocked out their foundational undergraduate studies and are pushing into higher-level graduate work, PhDs or postdoctoral research. If you fall into one of those 3 buckets, you are sitting perfectly in the center of their target demographic.
Next up, Section 3, Specialized Scholarship Programs. This is all about tailored funding by region and need.
This is where it gets really interesting, because the DAAD is incredibly strategic. They segment their funding programs based on where you're from and what your specific academic situation is. For example, if you're coming from an industrial country, the scholarships available are generally geared toward general master's degrees. But if you're applying from a developing or emerging country, the whole landscape shifts. For those applicants, the DAAD leans heavily into grants for full doctoral programs. They also have these highly specific tracks like STEM scholarships and development-related postgraduate courses, often just called EPAS. So where you call home directly dictates the specialized funding track you'll be navigating.
The DAAD also gets that not all academic journeys are, safe or straightforward. That's exactly why they offer the Hilda Domining program. It's specifically built for students and doctoral candidates who are at risk of being denied their educational or other basic rights in their home country. But there is a huge structural detail to keep in mind here. You cannot apply for the scholarship yourself. No, you must be nominated by a legal entity that is domiciled in Germany. It's only after that official nomination that the DAAD reaches out and invites suitable candidates to apply.
And hey, what if uprooting your life and moving to Germany just isn't feasible right now? They've got you covered there too. They offer these fantastic in-country or in-region programs. Basically, these initiatives fund your graduate, doctoral, or postdoc periods right in your home country or your surrounding region. I think this perfectly highlights how the DAAD isn't just trying to drain talent into Germany. They genuinely want to foster academic excellence and build research capacity globally, right where researchers already are.
All right, let's get into the really actionable stuff. Section 4, the application process. Navigating the scholarship database.
The whole application process is highly centralized, and you're essentially going to follow 3 very precise steps. First, it all kicks off at the DAAD scholarship database, which is at funding-guide.de. That's where you'll find and read the specific call for applications for your program. Second, and this is a big one, pay very close attention to the application deadlines noted in that specific call. And finally, step 3, that same database will link you directly over to the DAAD application portal where you'll submit your materials. It literally all starts and ends at funding-guide.de.
Now, once you hit submit, your application doesn't just disappear into a black box. It goes to independent, voluntary selection committees who make the final calls. And they're evaluating you on 3 core pillars. Number 1, your professional qualifications, meaning your academic background and track record. Number 2, the quality of the project. Is your proposed research strong, relevant, and well-designed? And number 3, applicant potential.
This is a holistic look at your overall capability. And it's definitely worth mentioning that they explicitly factor in special circumstances here, like a disability, for example. The exact criteria are always spelled out in your specific call for applications, so just make sure your submission hits these 3 areas hard.
Which brings us to the best part of the whole explainer. Section 5, Understanding Your Benefits. What exactly does the scholarship provide? And let's establish the absolute most important fact right out of the gate here. DAD scholarships do not have to be paid back, ever. It's a true grant for your future.
So what does that funding actually look like in your bank account? Currently, the baseline monthly payments are incredibly competitive. If you win a scholarship as a student, you're looking at a monthly stipend of 992 euros. If you're a doctoral or PhD student, that bumps up to 1,300 euros every month. This gives you a really reliable, steady base to cover your living expenses so you can just focus 100% on your academics.
But honestly, that monthly stipend is just the starting point. The DAD packages are amazingly comprehensive. Alongside the stipend, you generally get a flat-rate travel allowance. In a lot of cases, they even provide health, accident, and personal liability insurance, which, let me tell you, takes a massive logistical weight off your shoulders when you're moving abroad. Plus, depending on your specific program, you might get extra perks like a one-off research allowance, family benefits if you've got dependents, or even funds to take language courses and help you integrate into life in Germany. It's the whole shebang.
So we've looked at the massive global scale of the DAAD. We've seen how they target advanced graduates and researchers, tailor their programs from general masters to e-post courses, and we've walked through exactly how to use that application portal. With over 100,000 scholars supported every single year and incredible benefits that you never have to pay back, the only question left to ask yourself is this: are you ready to visit the Funding Guide database and finally kickstart your German research journey? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with your academic endeavors.